Hi everyone, welcome again back to this channel. In this video I'm going to be making a 4-layered baby dress. That is, this particular dress has 4 steps, so let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold my pattern paper into 2, then into 2, making 4. So you are going to leave 1 inch sewing allowance at the edge for your zipper. So after that I'm going to input my I'm going to input shoulder measurement. Shoulder measurement for a year-old is 8 plus sewing allowance. So I'm going to be measuring 4 inches down. Then I'm going to come down by ½ inch to create a slope. I'm going to join into the tip of that pattern paper. Then I'm going to come down by 3.5 inches because it's an armless dress. It does not have sleeves, so I'm going to be using 3.5 as a armhole. Then I'm going to draw an horizontal line at that point. Then I'm going to measure 1.5 inches. Then vertically also I'm going to measure 1.5 inches. So I'm going to create a curve. So after that I'm going to input my half length measurement. Half length measurement is also equivalent to the shoulder length measurement. So I'm going to be making it 9 inches including sewing allowance. So I'm having 9 inches. So mark 9 inches, draw a horizontal line. So after that I'm going to go ahead and input my bust measurement. Bust measurement is 20, that's divided by 4, that is 5. So I'm going to be adding 1 inch sewing allowance. So mark 5, then you add 1 inch sewing allowance. So after that I'm going to repeat that same measurement for my waist. Since I'm using a belt, I'm going to be using a belt at the waist, so it doesn't really matter if it's not fitted because the belt will help to achieve that. So I'm going to input, then I'm going to do for the middle of that 5 inches to locate my dot. So I'm going to join the dots at the bust line and the waistline. So after that I'm going to come to the neckline. I'm going to measure 1.5 inches from the center, then I'm going to measure 2 inches down. That is for the front neckline. Then for the back pattern I'm going to measure 1 inch. So after that the next thing to do is to extend that armhole at the front by 1 inch. Join it as illustrated. The essence of this is to avoid gathering at the armpit. So I'm going to measure 1.5 inches or so. Then I'm going to create a curve. So that's the armhole for the front pattern. So I'm going to be cutting off that shaded part for the front pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. So this is what I have now. This is the back part. I cut the back pattern first. So I'm going to remove the front pattern away so that I can cut the shaded part. So this is, I'm going to measure ½ inch at the back pattern so that by the time I make the flare it won't be lower, the back will be lower than the front. So that's the essence of removing ½ inch from the back. So this is the front pattern and this is the back pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the pattern on my piece of fabric. So this is what I have. So the next thing to do is to cut the lower part of the dress. So I'm going to fold my fabric into 2, then into 4, leaving 1 inch sewing allowance. So after leaving 1 inch sewing allowance, then I'm going to go ahead and measure the length of the lower skirt, where I'm going to be joining the layers of the clothes. So I'm going to go ahead and measure 11 inches as the length of the skirt. 11 inches. I'm going to measure 11 inches. Then I'm going to transfer the waist measurement of the upper part, the bodice. I'm going to transfer the waist measurement to this skirt. So this is what I have. So I'm going to transfer the waist measurement of the upper part of the dress so that it's going to give me an accurate result. So I'm going to mark. Then I'll create a slant. That means to give it an A-shape skirt. So I'm going to cut that out. So after that, this is the lower part of the skirt. So the next thing to do is to unfold. So I'm going to go ahead and divide this skirt into 3 parts. I'm going to be dividing it into 3 parts. 3 parts, but I have 4 lines. The upper part, which I am going to join to the bodice of the dress. The next one, followed by the next one. So I'm going to be dividing by 3 inches, 3 inches. So I'm going to be marking 3 inches all through. So I'm going to mark at point 3, 3, 3. They follow the same procedure, 3, 3, 3. So I'm going to connect the lines. So after that, this is what I have after doing that. So the next thing to do is to cut the flare. I have like 4. So we have line 1, line 2, line 3, then I have line 4. So I'm going to be transferring the measurement from the fabric. So I'm going to measure the first one. That is 6 inches minus 1. Minus 1, that one is the sewing allowance. So for level 1, I have 5 inches. So I'm going to be multiplying by 4. You know, we have 4 sides. I folded my fabric into 4, so that's why I got the 4. So for this one, 6 minus 7, sorry, 7 minus 1, that's 6 times 4. Then this is 8. 8 minus 1, that's 7. 7 times 4. Then for the last line, you have 9. 9 minus 8. Sorry, that's minus 8 minus 9 minus 8. That's 9 minus 1, that's 8. So we have 28 here. Then we have 32 as the circumference of the circle. So the next thing to do, I'm going to be dividing these values by 6.3. 6.3 is derived from 2 pi r. You know, that's I need the radius to get a circle. So the radius value is 6.3. So I'm going to be dividing my circumference by 6.3. You know, radius of a circle, circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So I'm looking for radius. So, and I have my circumference. So I got as a result of the evaluation, so which makes it 6.3, which is constant. So I'm going to be dividing all these values by 6.3. So 20 divided by 6.3 is 3.174. 24 divided by 6.3, 3.8. 28 divided by 6.3 is 4.4. 32 divided by 6.3, that's 5.1. So these values are the radius for each circle. So you fold your, like you are cutting this flare, you fold your fabric into 2, then into 4 to create a circle. So the radius is going to be the values I derived. So for the first one, it's going to be 3.174, and the length of each flare is 4.5 inches. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm cutting the last part first. I'm cutting level 4 first. So if you add 5.1 to 4.5 inches, that's almost like 10 inches. So you mark out 4.5, you mark out 5.1 radius. 5.1 radius. So the next level I'm going to be cutting is level 1. So as usual, the way you cut flare, you fold your fabric, then you mark. So for level 1, I have 3.17 plus 4.5. That's almost 8 inches. I'm going to be measuring 8 inches. Then I'll measure 3.1 as radius. 3.1 as radius. So you cut that. So I'll be cutting level 2 now. That's 3.8 radius plus 4.5 inches. That's almost 8.5. So you measure 3.8 as the radius, then 4.5 as the length. 3.8 as radius. 3.8 as radius. 3.8 as radius. 3.8 as radius. Then you mark 4.5 inches. 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5 as a length. So you cut out. And lastly, I'll be cutting the last level, which is level 3. So as usual, you fold your fabric the same way, then you cut out. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this video. Please kindly watch out for the sewing tutorial, which will be coming up very soon. Thank you for your support. So we have level 2. So I'm going to be arranging them. So you can notice the difference in size and circumference. So we have level 2, followed by level 1. Then the last one is level 4.